You know what's funny? We live in the noisiest era in human history, and yet, silence scares us more than chaos. The moment we turn off the music, the moment the notifications stop pinging, we start hearing a deeper noise, our own thoughts. We wake up thinking, what's next? What's wrong? What haven't I done yet? We've become addicted to overthinking. And we call it being responsible. Let me tell you, overthinking is not responsibility. It's a cage built out of fear. When your mind is full, you're everywhere except here. You're in the past replaying mistakes. You're in the future rehearsing fear. You're in everyone else's opinion, trying to earn approval. But you're rarely home, in your own heart. And here's the truth. You can't create, you can't love, you can't even truly breathe when your mind is overflowing with noise. The first step to emptying your mind is realizing it's too full to begin with. So I ask you right now, what are you carrying that no longer serves you? What would happen if you just put it down? You cannot clean a house you refuse to look at. Awareness isn't glamorous, it's messy. It's looking inward and realizing, so this is what's been running my life. For me, awareness started the day I realized I wasn't present, even with the people I loved. I was sitting at dinner with my family, smiling, nodding, even laughing, but my brain was in tomorrow's meeting. And my daughter looked at me and said, "Mom, are you here?" That broke me. Awareness is that moment when you stop pretending you're fine, and you start noticing what's real. Here's what awareness sounds like. I'm overthinking right now. I'm comparing myself again. I'm judging this moment instead of living it. When you name the noise, it starts losing its power. Awareness doesn't empty your mind instantly, but it opens the door for peace to walk in. Let's talk about one of our favorite human illusions: control. We think if we plan enough, fix enough, anticipate enough, we can protect ourselves from pain. But control is just fear wearing a business suit. It looks smart. It sounds responsible. But underneath it's terrified of uncertainty. I spent years trying to control everything. My career, my kids' happiness, my reputation, even my emotions. And you know what it gave me? Exhaustion. When you live your life trying to predict every storm, you never learn how to dance in the rain. So I started asking myself a new question. What would happen if I trusted more and controlled less? When the answer was unexpected, I didn't fall apart. I fell into peace. Because peace doesn't come from knowing what's next. It comes from knowing you'll handle it when it comes. We live in a culture that glorifies busy. If you're not rushing, you're falling behind. But let me tell you, stillness is not weakness. Stillness is power in disguise. Stillness is the courage to pause in a world that demands motion. It's standing still long enough to feel your own heartbeat again. Stillness doesn't mean doing nothing. It means doing one thing completely, fully, with presence. When you're still, you hear whispers that the noise used to drown out. You hear creativity, intuition, wisdom. You hear your truth saying, "I'm still here. I never left." Emptying your mind doesn't mean escaping life. It means returning to it. Fully awake. If there's one thing that brings you home to this moment, it's breath. It's the most underrated superpower we have. We do it every second without thinking, and yet, when we do it consciously, everything changes. Try it right now. Inhale deeply through your nose. Exhale slowly through your mouth. That breath, that's life saying, "You're still here. You made it." When you breathe consciously, you anchor your body to now. You can't breathe in yesterday. You can't breathe in tomorrow. You can only breathe here. So every time your mind drifts, bring it back home. To the breath. It's not about emptying your mind of thoughts. It's about emptying your attachment to them. Most of our mental clutter lives in two places. The past we keep replaying, and the future we keep fearing. But you can't rewrite what's gone. And you can't live in what hasn't arrived. When I finally learned to stop carrying my old mistakes like luggage, I realized forgiveness isn't about others. It's about freeing yourself. You can't pour new peace into an old cup of resentment. And the future. The future is a movie our minds keep editing. But it's never as we imagine it. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting that life knows what it's doing, even when you don't. You don't have to be on a mountain or a meditation retreat to live in the present. Presence happens in the ordinary. It's in the moment you taste your morning coffee instead of checking your phone. It's in the walk you take without headphones. It's in the way you listen to someone without planning your reply. Presence isn't about changing your life. It's about being alive to the one you already have. When we slow down, we start to notice miracles hiding in plain sight: the sound of laughter, the warmth of sunlight, the heartbeat of someone you love. That's where life actually lives. In moments we're usually too distracted to notice. Here's the truth. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. When you empty your mind, you don't lose yourself. You return to yourself. You stop performing peace, and you start living it. You stop chasing life, and you start feeling it. Because this, right here, this moment is all you ever truly have. The past is memory. The future is imagination. Only now is real. So breathe in. Feel your feet on the ground. Look around. You are not missing anything. You are exactly where you're meant to be. And maybe, just maybe, emptying your mind isn't about losing thought. It's about creating space for wonder, for love, for peace to move in. So let's stop living as if life is somewhere else. It's right here. And so are you. You are not behind in life. You are simply breathing your way into this moment. And that's more than enough. We live in a world that teaches us how to think, but never how to stop thinking. It begins with Aria, sitting in her apartment at midnight. The city hums outside. Cars, sirens, music, but her real noise is inside her head. She's successful by society's standards: stable job, social circle, future plans. But beneath the surface, she's drowning in mental noise. Doubts, worries, endless what ifs. Every night, her brain becomes a battlefield. You didn't do enough. You might fail. You should be happier. She stares at her reflection and whispers, "Why can't I just be at peace?" That whisper is the beginning of her transformation. Arya's days blur together. Work, screens, coffee. Conversations that mean nothing. Everyone tells her, "You're killing it." But inside, she feels like she's losing herself. She confides in her friend Maya, a free-spirited traveler. Maya listens, smiles gently and says, "Maybe the problem isn't that you're overthinking life. Maybe you're under-feeling it." Those words linger. That night, Arya lies awake. Her phone glows in the dark. Hundreds of messages, notifications, noise. She suddenly turns it off for the first time in years. The silence that follows feels strange, uncomfortable, but also sacred. In the stillness, she realizes how addicted she is to distraction, how afraid she is to meet herself. A week later, Arya stumbles upon an online ad, The Silent Path. A 10-day journey into stillness. Something inside her says yes. She packs lightly and travels to a remote monastery in the mountains. No wealth, no phones, no talking. Just air, earth, and silence. The first morning, she sits cross-legged with 20 strangers. The teacher, Master Ryo, speaks slowly. "You cannot silence your thoughts by fighting them. You silence them by understanding them." For hours, they sit in silence. Arya's mind rebels. Old memories, unfinished conversations, past heartbreaks, all screaming for attention. Tears come. Restlessness builds. She wants to run. But when she tells Master Ryo she's thinking of leaving, he smiles and says, "When the mind screams, it is only asking to be seen. Stay. Listen. It's not your enemy." She stays. The days pass slowly. The silence feels like a mirror, showing her everything she's buried. On day 4, during a long meditation, a memory surfaces. Her father's disappointment years ago. His words echoing, "You'll never make it if you don't stay perfect." She realizes how those words became her inner voice. She cries quietly. Not from pain, but release. In the evening, she walks through the forest behind the monastery. The sunset paints the sky gold. She hears nothing but her breath and the rustle of leaves. For the first time, she notices. Silence isn't empty, it's full of presence. She begins journaling each night. "Today, I didn't fight my thoughts. I watched them pass. And in between them, I found something I've never known. Peace." Day 7, early morning. The group meditates before dawn. The air is cool. The only sound is the wind through bamboo. Suddenly, Arya feels something. A space opening inside her, quiet yet powerful. Her thoughts arise. What if this ends? But they no longer control her. They drift through her awareness, like clouds in a vast sky. And in that sacred stillness, she understands. I am not my thoughts. I am the awareness watching them. Master Ryo walks by, sensing her transformation. He whispers, "Now you see, the power was never gone. It was buried under the noise." Her lips tremble as she smiles. For the first time in years, she feels light. When the retreat ends, Arya hesitates to return to the chaos of the city. But Master Ryo tells her, peace found in silence must also live in noise. Otherwise, it is just escape. Back home, Arya faces the same emails, traffic, deadlines. But she's changed. Now, When a thought says, "You're not enough," she breathes and replies gently, "Thank you for your concern. But I'm at peace now." She begins meditating 10 minutes every morning. She listens more deeply when people talk. She stops chasing validation and starts living with intention. Her coworkers notice. "You're different," one says. "Calmer. Stronger." Arya replies softly, "I just learned that silence isn't weakness. It's power without noise." One evening, she returns to the rooftop where she used to overthink. She sits beneath the stars, closes her eyes and smiles. The thoughts still come. Doubts, plans, fears. But now they pass like gentle waves. She is the ocean beneath them, deep, vast, unshaken. When the mind is quiet, she whispers, the soul speaks. And when the soul speaks, power awakens. A soft wind blows. The world is loud again. But she is louder in her silence, powerful in her calm. And the voice inside, once chaotic and cruel, now says only one thing: "You are free." The greatest strength isn't in fighting your thoughts. It's in befriending them. When you stop running from your mind, you stop running from life. Silence is not the absence of sound. It's the presence of yourself. Remember, this power doesn't shout, power breathes. The greatest battles are not fought in the world. They are fought in the mind. It begins with Noah, a young man with endless dreams, and an even louder mind. Every day he wakes up exhausted, not because of what he did, but because of what he thought. His head never stops spinning. What if I fail? What if they laugh at me? What if it's already too late? He overthinks every decision, from what to say, to what to wear, to what others think of him. His mind is like 1,000 tabs, open on a computer that's overheating, frozen, chaotic, stuck. One night, after another long day of overthinking and doing nothing, he whispers into the dark, "I'm tired of living in my head." That's where his real story begins. Noah is talented, creative, intelligent, kind, but paralyzed by his own fears. He plans his dreams in notebooks, but never takes the first step. He replays old mistakes like broken records. He imagines conversations that never happen. And when opportunities come, his mind says, "Wait, you're not ready yet." At work, he hides his ideas. At home, he avoids quiet, afraid of what silence might reveal. Then one day, he meets Alina, an older woman at a cafe, who paints in the corner every morning. Noah asks, "How do you do it? How do you just create without fear of it not being perfect?" She smiles softly, her brush still moving. "Perfection doesn't create art, dear. Presence does. If you think too much, you miss the magic. The brush can't dance when the mind is scared." Those words echo in his heart. Noah begins to notice how his thoughts control him. Every time he wants to take a step, his brain builds a wall of what ifs. He realizes something tragic: he's not living, he's just analyzing life. One evening, he looks at his old vision board, all his goals untouched. He whispers, "I've been planning to live for years." In frustration, he throws the board away. For the first time, he decides to take a walk. No phone, no music, just himself. The air is cold, but freeing. He notices things he's never seen before. The color of the sky, the rhythm of his breath, the simplicity of being here. He thinks, maybe living isn't about figuring everything out. Maybe it's about showing up, even when it's uncertain. The next morning, Noah visits Alina again. He tells her, I think too much. I can't stop it. She laughs softly and says, thoughts are like waves, Noah. You can't stop them. But you can learn to surf. She gives him a small notebook. Every time you overthink, write it down, then ask, can I control this? If yes, act. If no, release. That becomes his new ritual. Every day, he fills pages with worries, questions, fears, and one by one, he learns to let them go. He starts small, taking spontaneous actions, joining a local art class, speaking up at meetings, calling an old friend. The more he acts, the quieter his mind becomes. He realizes, overthinking kills action. But action kills overthinking. Months later, Noah enters his first art exhibition. His hands tremble as he stands by his painting. The one he almost didn't finish because of self-doubt. People walk by, smiling, whispering words like, beautiful, real, alive. Elena appears behind him. See? When you stopped thinking about how to live, you started living. The tears well in his eyes. He replies, I spent years waiting for the right moment. But the right moment was every moment I wasted waiting. From that day, he makes a promise. To live before his thoughts talk him out of it. To say yes before fear says wait. To do things imperfectly, but completely alive. Noah sits by the ocean one evening, sketchbook in hand, no plans, no pressure. He breathes in the salt air, feels the wind, hears the waves. He thinks of all the moments he missed, because he was trapped inside his head. Now, he smiles, because he's finally here. I used to live in tomorrow, he says softly, but peace only lives in now. He closes his eyes and whispers the words that changed him. Stop thinking. Start being. Stop waiting. Start living. And for the first time, the voice inside his head isn't filled with fear. It's filled with gratitude. I'm proud of you. It says. You finally came home to the present. Overthinking is like a rocking chair. It keeps you busy, but takes you nowhere. Life doesn't wait for your thoughts to calm down. It happens right now, in this breath, in this heartbeat, in this moment. The secret to happiness isn't control. It's surrender. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need the courage to begin. Stop overthinking, and start experiencing. Because the only way to live is now.